All right, so today I got to talk about another Thomas Sowell quote, and this is a topic I've been talking about quite a bit. I mean, basically for the entirety of me making videos, but especially lately. And again, for many reasons. But let's read it and we'll talk about it. He says the whole political vision of the left, including socialism and communism, has failed by every empirical test in countries around the world, but this has only led leftist intellectuals to evade and denigrate empirical evidence. And again, I mean, this is again the thing for many reasons. It's like the stuff I've been pointing out too with California. I mean, you look at California is probably the most leftist state in existence. They have, big state tax. They got every regulation under the books. They got every, woke social justice warrior, homeless or just victims, and let's let them do drugs and let's let them take a crap in the streets and let's give them free everything kind of. I mean, let's let them steal up into like $1,000. Like, they have every leftist, political um political, not opinion, but idea pretty much implemented into law. But yet you look at California, well, guess what? They have the biggest wealth gap, like, of any state, probably by far. They have massive homelessness. They got hundreds of thousands of homeless people. They have, and not only that, too, I believe they're the state with the most people leaving every year. Maybe than New York, because New York, I mean, real estate sales in New York have gone way up recently. And again, it's not because there's some big real estate boom. It's because people are leaving New York overwhelmingly because violence is going way up. I mean, the governor is clearly rather incompetent. Um, and again, this is the thing that, and this is what leftists do too. They don't have the ability to admit they're wrong. I'm not sure if they don't have the ability or they just flat out refuse to do it no matter what. I mean, I mean, look at the whole socialism communist thing. That's literally over 100 million people died in the 20th century in the name of socialism and or communism. But yet, look at how many socialists and communists there are out there. And this is the thing too, that people say, "Oh, democratic socialism." No, it isn't. That's like saying democratic fascism. It doesn't change a thing. Or democratic, it doesn't change a thing. If you democratically implement communism, what is the difference between just straight up implementing communism through a war or whatever? Like, there's no difference. It's the same thing. So anybody trying to make that argument, again, you're absolutely insane. But again, the point being is that 100 million dead bodies over the last 100 years or so isn't enough to get these people to admit they're wrong or they're misguided. What do you think will get them to admit they're wrong or misguided? Again, this is the big thing too, that about what, 15, maybe upwards of 20 million people died because of fascism, but yet when you hear the two compared, the average person would probably tell you that we would have been far better off not having fascism than communism, even though, again, the reality is that you would have, the difference is literally 5 or 6 to 1 when it comes to the body count difference. So again, the idea that and this is, again, one of the many things completely wrong with public schools, is that, again, when you're taught about history, they basically beat it down your throat talking about the Nazis and the horrors of the Nazis, when, again, they were terrible, and it was absolutely despicable what they did. But the point being is that they completely downplay to the nth degree the dangers of communism. The big take-home points from communism that they teach you in school is, the Red Scare and McCarthy was paranoid and all this garbage. When the reality is that we should, not only was McCarthy not paranoid, but if anything, he was not paranoid enough. Not only is the Red Scare completely stupid concept. It's like, yeah, some people are paranoid about a concept that's killed 100, at the time it wouldn't have been, but on pace to kill over 100 million people in just this century alone. Yeah, these people are so paranoid. Like, how insane do you have to be to suggest that? But again, that's what public school teaches people. That's what universities teach people. So again, it's just absolutely insane. Again, Thomas Sowell puts it in a very good way here, and this is why when it comes to people's political beliefs, I'm not saying you have to agree with me or anyone or anything, but you definitely need to be explicitly anti-socialist and anti-communist. And that's the problem nowadays, is that most leftists nowadays, they won't say they're socialists or communists, but they support social. I mean, they support socialism. A lot of them communism. So again, what people identify as is completely meaningless. It matters what people, the policy positions they're advocating for. And like I say, the problem is that most people advocate for a lot of socialist policy, like a lot of socialist policy. I mean, Canada is like a not very far away from socialism. We already have free health. I mean, it's not free, but for all intensive purposes, um, we have healthcare, we have schooling, we have I mean, if you're a migrant, you can come here and get the equivalent to like $30,000 a year plus benefits. Again, so we are not very far away from full-on socialism in Canada. We may be an election cycle or two away from socialism. Like if the Liberals get a majority, for all they're going to keep pushing more and more socialist stuff. Like again, so the idea of Canada, again, the same people that argue, oh, Canada's center left, but yet on the other hand, whenever you argue against these socialistic policies, they say Canada's naturally again. Well, which one are we? Or are we center left or are we socialist? Because if you want to argue, oh, Canada, for the healthcare system is uniquely Canadian and being against it is un-Canadian. Well, again, it's not a center left healthcare. A centrist healthcare system would be something that um, something along the lines of, hey, you come in with a broken arm or you need some stitches, yeah, we'll fix you up. But if you need open heart surgery, that's going to be on you. And this is the other thing, too, that I really can't stand about these idiots with the whole mask garbage is that they make the argument, oh, we're not going to force you to wear a mask, but if you need to go to the hospital, you should have to pay for that. Um, Again, but if you make that same argument with a guy who smokes a pack a day, is an alcoholic and is 100 pounds overweight, they refuse to give an inch when it comes to that. Again, which just goes to show that they're just insane. It's just all what benefits us politically. And again, the top comment here actually puts it very well too. Not interested in evidence, not interested in facts, not interested in history, not interested in culture, not interested in rules, work, property, arms, family, religion, only interested in power. Again, that is the main thing. It is sheer power. They will tell you whatever they need to tell you to get their way. And again, this is why they hold positions that contradict other positions, and not only that, they contradict those positions, contradict other positions, and again, just infinite contradiction because they don't care about that. They just care about power. Again, it's just absolutely insane. So, again, that is the point being that, and this is the other reason too why whenever you hear them talk about, oh, where's your evidence for this, that, or the other thing, well, you don't even have any evidence to back up your entire worldview. Now you're trying to debate on some abstract political thing. Like, come on, it's absolutely it's insane to have this kind of stuff. And again, it's like I say too, is that if you're if you're actually center left, which again 90% of people who claim to be aren't, then we can have a conversation. The problem is with these socialist and more hardcore leftist types, which is most of them. Again, like I don't care what people identify as. They can claim, oh, we're centrist all day long. But if you're fully on board the Trudeau Liberals and the Alberta NDP, for example, you are not a moderate leftist, like not by any stretch of the imagination. And again, the way you can tell is if someone's a moderate and if their political beliefs are way out there. Go back 10 or 20 years and think, okay, how would they have been treated then? Okay, well, what would someone nowadays like want? You want open borders, you want unlimited immigration, you want massively increasing public sector, you want all these kind of crazy leftist policy. You would have been laughed out of the room. You would have been considered not only too far to the left, but way too far to the left to have been elected in the 2000s. Like it would they would have been more to the left than like the explicitly far left parties nowadays, and these are the people that are considered moderate. Like again, it's absolutely insane. I mean, you look at the Democrats too. The Democrats have moved so far to the left over the last decade that again, I literally made a video about this too, so people can just can go back and watch it if you really want. Um, but they did a comparison of the Democrats in 2008 and the Democrats in 2016, and the same thing for Republicans. And they found that the Democrats have moved so far to the left that the Republicans in 2008 had more in common and were closer on the political spectrum to the Democrats in 2008 than the Democrats in 2016. And not only that, the Democrats have moved even further to the left since 2016. I mean, even Bernie Sanders didn't want open borders in 2016. Now that's not only is open borders, it's we're no deportations, nothing, free everything. Bernie Sanders didn't want that in 2016 either. Now it's literally open borders, no deportations, free healthcare for everyone. Those were three positions that the Democrats have only recently adopted. Again, so this is the thing that goes to show that things have completely changed. Things have completely changed. So again, that's just the things I wanted to bring up. So anyway, if you liked the video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. Check out my Twitter, my BitChute, and my Parler. All those links are in the description, so you can find them all there.